I think I have something in my eye right now. Yeah. Is it red?
I'm not a role model. Oh, guys.
What's up? My name is Fresh Ed. This is my Blank Records album explainer.
It's my fucking motto. Too much for this silly art.
The name Verruckt, or the word Verruckt in German just means crazy or insane. And I just got it from this video game. I'm not really into gaming, but I played games here and there. It's this video game, this zombies map on Call of Duty. And it was called Verruckt. And it sounded really cool, and it sounded really dope. And then I don't really play that exact map that often because it's pretty hard. But I just like the sound of it, and then just Verruckt from there on just sounded so cool. So I've always really been into rap and hip hop throughout like my whole life. But like especially in middle school and early high school, I was really into like really what people call like the old heads and like a lot of 80s and 90s rap and hip hop. So hip hop and rap has always kind of been part of me and part of who I am. But I didn't really start making music until like my freshman year of high school, where I dropped my first song. At the time, I didn't know how serious I wanted to take it, but just having random ideas here and there kind of came along throughout the years within my freshman year of high school until now. With this project with Verruckt, it was kind of all of my ideas kind of slowly coming together and then finally making the type of music that I've always wanted to make. For this project, every track is produced by me, and some beats were like really old and some beats were just between that like kind of Verruckt era of me working on the project itself. It all started when my father he bought me this iPad, and then I got myself a DJ controller, MIDI controller. Within wanting to learn DJing, I also wanted to learn how to make beats, and that's how it was for a while, where I wanted to be known as like the music producer or the beat maker. So that definitely came in first before I actually started rapping and making music.
Tell me how to act or how to be. My only wish is to fuck the world.
So the themes for this album, other than kind of being that kind of rebellious, defiant, like I don't really care attitude, I myself was never really like a rebellious or defiant kind of as a teenager when I was listening to them. But again, it was just like that sound. I wanted to like kind of be free and really not be afraid to express myself like that.
Jack Myers on that dope shit.
For Yogurt, I really wanted to like have that kind of speak into like having as many like references, whether it be pop culture or whatever you hear on the media, and kind of just play off of what's going on. You could really tie that song into like someone like Eminem, where he's obviously like the lyrics would be like funny but still be like dark at the same time. So there's a lot of like different references from media and pop culture, like Demi Lovato, or I'm talking about what's that guy's name with the Kool-Aid? Made people drink the Kool-Aid. What's his name?
Jim Jones?
Yeah, Jim Jones. Yeah. I was like, oh, Jim Jones couldn't stop him down. I drank a gallon of Kool-Aid, I'm still around. Some, stuff like that. Definitely say it's like playful on words, what I'm trying to say, but also as well of trying to have this kind of shock value and kind of make you rethink like what I just said. Jack Myers is kind of just a name that I gave myself as like an alter ego, and it's really not. It's basically just Jack from The Shining and then Michael Myers, and I just put them together because I didn't know what else to make up with for like the actual like name of kind of this character that I wanted to build up. That's just the best I could come up with because I'm a huge like horror fan. Definitely with this album too, like you can see kind of just small references.
I'll do what I say, whether you like it or not.
For the song Walkers, when you hear it, it's very, again, kind of like in your face, and it's really energetic. And then lyrics wise, you could kind of take it as like a anti school rebellious theme that's kind of been going on throughout the album as well. What I really want to convey with Walkers is to kind of just like don't be afraid to like be you and kind of just be free. For Walkers, I really wanted that like high energy sound. I really wanted that to be like these songs should kind of just be played at, at whatever shows, and having like the crowd just really be connected as one. For the longest I felt stuck, like I didn't know what to do with music, but I feel like the second where I try to finally like lay all my negative thoughts away and really trust my first instinct and tell myself that I can do what I want to do and that I can achieve things that I want. And I feel like I need that in there for those people that might be stuck on whatever and they really need like that green light to finally like be like, okay, like, I can do this.
You to know my name.
For trap, the sound that I really wanted to kind of convey was really kind of, just a bit slower from all the chaos that you've had from track 1, 2, 3, and then you finally get to trap, where it's a bit more slowed down. But I really wanted that song to really speak into as happened so far, where you could have anger and kind of just like in your face sound, but then right after you could kind of be more calm and kind of just serious, I guess. Because this is the first time, sequentially in the album where it's more about your face and your relationship with God and sin and the devil. So I really wanted that to be a bit slower.
Say you wanna do bad shit, you wanna.
The song Overlook, it's kind of like what the devil will want you to kind of give into him. There's many like theories of what The Shining really means, and everyone has their own kind of interpretation. You could go all around YouTube and like, oh, this meant this, this meant that. But a lot of people, some people could say it's like hell. And that's kind of like something that I want to kind of bring up. It just sounded like cool to really kind of interpret Overlook as like hell, and then just name the song Overlook. And then the song is kind of like what the devil would be like saying to you to try to get you to like give in, where it's like he'll give you so many things and he wants you to give him, and he's always trying to like go after you.
Too much for this silly art hose.
So with the song Mice, it's definitely still a bit rebellious, but also it's just kind of like a song where I kind of talk more about like race and kind of how that kind of plays out within being an artist and being successful. Yeah, I feel like with Mice, I really kind of wanted to make other people that are like me to feel kind of empowered, where I bring up other like race related things and kind of just stereotypical things. I don't really know if I'm like still the right kind of person to like talk about like race and like how important it is, especially with like kind of being like Mexican and growing up here in the United States, and like kind of like how I'm kind of portrayed as, and also like what I should be and what I shouldn't be. People who like know me and really know me, like they know I'm not like how to put this, like I'm not so like cultured, I guess, or I'm not so cultured within like Mexican culture. Again, that's kind of one thing that kind of held me back in trying to make a song about that, where it's like, oh, like am I the right like person to be like talking about this, especially like the Mexican community, where it's like in some parts it's like if you're like too Mexican, they're like, oh yeah, you're like so paisa or whatever, but then if you're like not like Mexican enough, you're like, oh, you're like whitewashed, or you're so this, where it's like kind of this a weird thing to be at. I feel like no matter which kind of side you're on, it's kind of like one of those things where no one should really be like disliked or diswanted by like the color of your skin. What I want people to really get out of this is like your expectations of me, like that's not gonna stop me from being successful.
Pain, lying to myself.
So with the song Freedom, I knew I wanted it to be last. So I remember just like sitting down on the sofa for like during the weekends, and I would kind of picture out like what I want each song to be. I want this song to be about this, I want this one to be about that. It had to kind of close with like a more relaxing sound. You have 3 verses that kind of tie it in back all together into all the themes of the project so far. It's about wanting to change and wanting to grow. So you kind of have it all tie in. Again, kind of go in the circle where it's like you talk about religion and your relationship with God, and you talk about race, and then you talk about, kind of detention and just this edgy environment. Because in the end of the third verse, it's talking about like graduation and wanting to move on and wanting to do greater things. I feel like for me, when I was, graduating from high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I feel like I could speak to a lot of people where in the song I'm like, I don't know where I'll be, or truthfully, I don't know, but I want to succeed, and stuff like that kind of made things kind of wrap up at the end of the album, where we can all kind of achieve different things, and if you're like kind of lost, that's okay.
There he comes.
What Verruckt means to me kind of speaks to me if I was like still in high school and still listening to like that type of like rap style where it's really rebellious and has a lot of shock value and edginess. It could be that, but it's also mixed in with things that I know I am now, whether it's religion and how important my race is and how I should be and how how I should be proud of who I am.
Bring it on in the mosh pit.
My name is Fresh Ed. You can listen to Verruckt, the album by Fresh Ed, on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. So yeah, my name is Fresh Ed. This has been my Blanks Record album explainer. Peace.
That's a wrap. Verruckt, album explainer. And